This next one's going to be really fun. This is from the Daily Mail. It says Brooklyn judge claims FDNY, Fire Department, New York, firefighters booed Letitia James because she's black. That's right. Federal Judge Nicholas Geronimo Falavalas tore into firefighters for chanting Trump's name at a ceremony with New York Attorney General Letitia James. The AG had just secured a $484 million judgment against the ex-president when she was booed on March 8th. But the judge said, this doesn't have to do with the politics. This has to do with race. Okay. Read a little bit of this and then I'll start chiming in, okay? I don't want to get too big on the roll here. New York firefighters who heckled State Attorney General Letitia James with chants of Donald Trump were motivated by racism rather than politics, a Brooklyn judge has declared. James faced a hostile audience as she gave a speech honoring newly promoted firefighters on March 8th, days after winning a $454 million judgment against the former president in court, which is insane. Fire department bosses promised to hunt down staff who booed and chanted at the event in Brooklyn. The federal court judge Nicholas has ordered them to get on with it. I've lived in New York City all my life. I know what the problem is, and believe me, front and center is what happened the other day, he told a meeting with city lawyers. This doesn't have to do with politics. This has to do with race. That's Letitia James. Not familiar with her. We've spoken about her before. And Trump has one attorney right there. And she's awesome too. She's bad. She's bad. All right. But the judge who officiated at the wedding of fellow Trump prosecutor Jack Smith in 2011 faced a furious backlash on social media for his analysis. The black and Hispanic firefighters booed her because of her race, demanded one. Could also be because she's female. They're going to claim racial bias, add gender bias, since only 2% of New York Fire Department members are women, added another. We all know this was not racial, but just those firefighters' way to letting Letitia James know she made a huge mistake, added a third. They dislike her politics, not her skin color. So, before I get into it, what do you guys think? Is it racially motivated? Is it political? What do you think? Give you a second. Leave your comments. Pause it. Whatever you need to do. Here's the thing, right? So that's what they do, okay? And by they, I don't mean black people, okay? I don't want me to come across as a racist, but that's what losers do. And right now, when you look at the political climate, the ones that you hear doing this the most, of course, are the Democrats. Now, the Democrats are not losing as much as the Republicans. So, there's a little bit to be said there. I think Republicans are losing more ground than Democrats are on a regular basis. But as far as hearing this kind of stuff, it so often comes from Democrats because they don't have a leg to stand on, right? Here's what you hear. You're either racist, sexist, some kind of phobic, or something else like that. That's the attack. That's what they go up and down. Oh, my camera's messing up again. Doggone it. It's this close from pulling the trigger this week and getting a new camera. We'll see if this guy will last. Sorry about it, guys. Hope it doesn't bother you too much. But yeah, the racism, sexism, phobics, all this and that, they did that to Trump. They did it to Kavanaugh with the Supreme Court. They've done it plenty of others. I can go down a list. But that's what they do. When they know they're in the wrong or they're out of options or they're backed up against defense and they have nothing left to defend themselves or their argument or their attack or whatever you want to call it, they just start, hey, you're a racist. Because you can't deny that you're a racist. What are you going to say? Oh, I got black friends. I'm not racist. Oh, well, you can't say that. Well, there is no defense. There's no defense. Somebody calls you a racist, you're clearly a racist. Sexist, clearly a sexist. Phobic, clearly a phobic. There's these things that you just can't deny. And there's things that have such I use this word a lot, this punctuation, right? They like an exclamation point. Like when someone calls you that and someone hears that someone has called you that, racism is something that definitely has a stranglehold on a lot of Americans. So when they hear that somebody is racist, before even thinking about it, before thinking about the person, the situation, or anything, they're already mentally, emotionally, or whatever affected by knowing that racism is part of the equation. It's one of those, ask questions later kind of thing. They already find you guilty somewhat in their mind before they start digging into the details, because it's such a hard punch. Racist is not something you want to be called. Sexist isn't something you want to be called. Phobic is a fear of something. So a lot of the stuff they say is this phobic, that phobic, that it's not actually phobic anything. It's just, the English language is being jacked up. But she's not the only one. Let's look at this one. And this is a little older, but I still thought it was oldie but a goodie. So Eric Adams, we've spoken about him. We spoke about him when he came into office a couple of years ago. And he's constantly, got plenty to say. And he's in the news, his own fair share here. It says, Adams says Texas governor targeting black-run cities with migrant busing plan. New York Mayor Adams rebuked Texas Governor Greg Abbott on Monday after learning that the border state would resume busing asylum seekers to New York and other major cities run by black mayors. Not only is this behavior morally bankrupt and devoid of any concern for the well-being of the asylum seekers, but it is also important or impossible to ignore the fact that Abbott is now targeting 5 cities run by black mayors, the Democrat mayor said in a statement. Put plainly, Abbott is using the crisis to hurt black-run cities. Boy, man, he's really hitting the nail on the head right there, isn't he? The cities are New York, Los Angeles, Washington, D.C., Denver, and Chicago. Over the weekend, Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot sent a letter to Abbott saying her administration also learned the Republican governor would resume busing children and families to Illinois on Monday. Lightfoot, a Democrat who lost a recent re-election bid, called the move an inhumane and dangerous decision. The movement of migrants from the southern border has become more politically charged since last year when Abbott sent 2 busloads of people to Vice President Kamala Harris's official residence, and fellow Republican Governor Ron DeSantis flew 2 plane loads of people to Martha's Vineyard to draw attention to an issue they say President Joe Biden has failed to manage. Biden, in turn, has accused Republican leaders of using the migrants as political props. The asylum seekers crisis has stretched New York City's social safety net to a breaking point, complicating already tense local and state budget negotiations and putting the mayor on a collision course with the White House, even as he stumps for Biden's re-election campaign. All right, so we got a lot to unpack there, right? So yes, this is a political move. Both sides are playing the political move, right? You got the Democrat cities and the mayors and the people saying, "Oh, we love immigrants, we love asylum seekers. Send them to us. We'll take them in. We're not going to send anyone away." And then the folks on the border, Abbott, DeSantis, they call the bluff, send them on up there. "Oh, we don't have the resources. It's going to hurt us. It's going to financially drain us. We can't house them," which is the same crap that they're dealing with down in Florida and Texas, but now they're dealing with it. It's a political game. One saying, "Hey, we want to come off as soft and sensitive and loving," and the other one says, "It can't be that way. We have to have rule. We have to have law and order. We have to make sure that everything's going like it's supposed to." Like, no, it's fine. We need to love everybody and no one's illegal. Okay, fine. You can have them. No. Keep them down there with y'all. Keep them down there with y'all. So there's such a back and forth. I hate the politics of stuff, but sometimes you got to call people's bluff. Sometimes you got to hold people accountable. It's like, you want to be a, what is it called? Sanctuary city. Here's your opportunity, right? And I love they keep calling them asylum seekers. Asylum seekers go to ports of entry. These people are illegal immigrants coming into this country, invading this country at this point. And yeah, we're doing an awful job down at the border ever since Biden became president. And you can say anything you want to about Trump or anybody else. I will tell you, when they were doing the debates between Biden and Trump, one of the things Biden says is, "I would tell them to rush the border and come in." And ever since that, he's weakened the border. I mean, this is 100% Biden and his administration. And not just Biden. Like I said, his administration too, for sure. All these cats, right? And Kamala Harris, who's supposed to be the border czar, what has she done? Not a damn thing. All right. While none of this actually establishes racism as a factor, allow me to remind you of a video that surfaced previously from Eric Adams maybe saying something he shouldn't have said.
Every day in the police department, I kicked those crackers' ass, man. I was unbelievable in the police department with one of the black law enforcement.
Not only do we have this racist calling other people racist, you know, pot calling the kettle black, so to speak. Not a racist term, by the way. But he literally doesn't have a leg to stand on while arguing against a governor who can't stand on his legs. Texas Governor Abbott, wheelchair guy. Crowder does it all the time. I'm not taking his thing, but, you know, whatever. But, yeah, I mean, dude doesn't know what he's doing. All right. Looking at this, slain officer Jonathan Diller's family told Kathy Hochul she had his blood on her hands. This is from New York Post. It's another example of racism or sexism or something, right? It says right here, I don't know what that is. I hate all this stuff. It says right here, an uncle of slain NYPD officer Jonathan Diller was the man who lashed out at Governor Hochul when she stopped by the wake Friday afternoon, shouting that his blood is on your hands, the source told the Post Saturday. As the governor insisted she had not been asked to leave the gathering, the family member was going crazy on her, the source said. He said, "We don't want you here. You're not wanted here. You have blood on your hands. If you want to do something, change the bail laws," the source continued. But Hochul, speaking at an Easter event in Albany, said she had no regrets about attending. "I would do it again, and that's my job," she said, according to Politico. "They need to talk to me, and they all needed to talk to me. My job is to listen." I'm sure this was a racist attack on someone too, right? She's probably a victim of this family's just terrible racism, right? Oh yeah, we can't use that on her. Can't use it at this time. Moving on to the next phase then, I guess. Hey guys, while I got you here, I do want to talk to you about one of my absolute favorite companies that I have to talk about. That's Coffee Brand Coffee. Again, Mayhem, 5% off. Go on their website, check them out. Coffee Brand Coffee serves people who are sick of the gimmicky companies who offer marketing in place of truly great fresh roasted coffee. The fulfillment and roasting facilities are located right here in the United States. Each person is hand roasted to order. That means they wait until they receive your order before they fire up the roasters. Lastly, it's just delicious. I've always got some here in the kitchen. I love me some Coffee Brand Coffee. All right. For the best coffee, tea, and cocoa, visit Coffee Brand Coffee today and use promo code MAYHEM. Save 5% off your entire purchase at checkout. Direct link will be in the description below. Check it out and go get you some delicious coffee.
Hey guys, thanks for checking out this clip from the Morning Mayhem. Remember, this is just a portion of the full show that comes out every Friday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. If you hadn't already, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the full shows or these tasty little nuggets.